Connect Forth, the radio forum for students.
I'm Gavin Orr, Station Manager for Connect Forth, and welcome to this very special Don't Stand By themed podcast. Over the last few months, I've been incredibly fortunate to work alongside my amazing friend and fellow colleague, Jane Patterson, and her Skills for Work class. This Skills for Work class, based at the Falkirk campus, are made up from a wide range of students from local secondary schools. Here's Jane to introduce this podcast.
Connect Forth, the radio forum for students.
We are students at Forth Valley College currently studying Skills for Work in Creative Industries. We were granted an amazing opportunity by Forth Valley Student Association President Lorraine Simpson to take part in building an installation around the theme Don't Stand By. Here's Lorraine to explain more.
This project initially came about from Falkirk Council. This year Falkirk are holding a national event for Holocaust Memorial Day, and as part of the national event they asked the college if they would like to be involved and do a local event. So I suggested that some of our students might want to make some artistic pieces to feature in a display that they're doing in the Howgate Centre in Falkirk. So we brought this idea back to some lecturers and they said that would be great. So rather than tying the Don't Stand By theme into just Holocaust Memorial Day, we wanted to apply it to different situations such as bullying or domestic abuse, or maybe some more recent topics like the Syrian refugees, or anything that might tie into the theme overall. And because it's such a wide topic, it can tie into things like mental health issues or any other experiences that students might have faced or that want to talk about. So we thought it was quite a wide brief and that it would be beneficial for students to tackle.
What type of exhibits would you be expecting us to make for this?
So since we've discussed with the lecturer already, we thought it would be beneficial for the students to do this as a group project, so it's been decided that an installation would be good, but with specific areas focused on such as poetry, mixed media, sound, so that everybody gets a chance to showcase what they like and what their talents are, but also means that you can work together as a group to bring the project together.
Our class got together to write our stories around the theme of Don't Stand By. The following 3 stories based around our thoughts on the subject LGBT.
Connect Forth.
My experience with the LGBT community has been a little rough so far, but it's not horrible because I know other people have been through worse. It started when my friend convinced me to go to the local LGBT support group with him, as he's gay, and I was questioning my sexuality at this point. I extremely enjoyed going and I made a ton of new friends. After going for a while, I finally found out who I am. I'm panromantic asexual, and the definition of Google is panromantic asexuals seek romantic relationships for a variety of reasons, including companionship, affection and intimacy, but they're not sexually attracted to their romantic partners. The sexual counterpart to panromantic is pansexual. I was happy. I eventually told my mum and my older sister that they thought I was just hanging around with the wrong people and they were putting thoughts in my head, but I don't care, I'm happy. But I'm still extremely scared to tell my dad, as he's horrendously homophobic. I still haven't told him. A couple of nights ago we got into an argument where he was making fun of my friends as they're LGBT and to him they are freaks. So I wanted to protect them because I feel like they're my family now, so I say to him, what if me or my sister or my brothers come and we say we're gay, are you going to disown us? He just replies with yes, and what are you trying to tell me something? This really annoyed me so much, as I'm currently going out with a really sweet guy who happens to be transgender, meaning devoting or relating to a person whose self-identity does not confirm ambiguously and conventional to notions of male or female gender. We've been going out 2 months and 10 days at the point of writing this, and the fact that he said he would disown us was horrible, and I know that from my friend's experiences it's not the worst thing that can happen to someone in this situation. An example of this from one of my friends is, the worst part of my transphobic experience wasn't the transphobia, it was finding out I was transgender myself. I battled with myself for so long, trying to convince myself I wasn't trans. When I finally come to terms with it, I was scared to tell people. I told close friends. The friends then started finding out. The people I didn't want to find out found out. I already been fighting homophobia for about a year because I went out with an openly lesbian girl for almost a year now, and I've been ridiculed and pointed out just because I want to change my name. For what I've seen, they've had no problem with me changing my gender, but because I went from a very feminine name to a masculine name, the criticism began. The verbal abuse wasn't the thing that hurt me. It hasn't turned into physical abuse. It was the psychological abuse that got to me, and I guess it was something that fueled them. My transphobic experience hasn't been too bad. It has been golden compared to others, but I admit it has made me do some things that I've regretted. This was written by someone very close to me, and it makes me extremely angry to see them go through this. So right now, the only thing I care about is that I'm happy, my boyfriend is happy, and my friends are happy. Are you happy?
In my opinion, everyone has a soulmate, and whether that is someone of the opposite gender or the same gender should be allowed to be happy. They are human and should be allowed the right to marriage and adoption without people judging them and giving them a bad name. Homophobia is something that is used every day, and so many people are hurt by it. There are so many great people in the world, and not all of them are heterosexual. People affected by homophobia and bullying suffer so much already. You don't know how their family or friends handle it, but people still decide to be selfish and share unwanted opinions. Yes, you do have a right to an opinion, but think before you say it out loud. People make fun of gay couples and question why they should be allowed to adopt if the children aren't biologically theirs. Gay people should be allowed to adopt. If people can have sex, have a child, and then give that child up, then someone who wants the child and is willing to look after it comes along and they should have the right to adopt it. I think that there should be more LGBT, lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender groups in schools and local communities. They don't just help with the bullying, but they complement and boost your confidence. There's always someone to talk to. Everyone at some point needs someone, and you can't deny it. So yes, I believe that LGBT groups should have the same rights as any other human. There is no need to treat them different and bring them down. I believe that a transgender person should be allowed to use the relevant gender restroom that they believe they relate to. I believe lesbians and gays should be allowed to express their feelings for the people they love. Everyone has a soulmate, everyone deserves love in their life. People are so judgmental. Your sexuality is not a choice. You can't just decide you're gay or a lesbian, or you're actually a female in a male's body or a male in a female's body. It's a real feeling. These people didn't choose this. Stop judging them and learn to accept them. Gays, lesbians and transgender people won't be going anytime soon, so people are going to need to learn to live with it or accept it. And accept it.
Well, this is me coming out. This is very hard for me to say, but well, I'm gay. No mum, it's not a phase. No dad, it's healthy. No, I'm not confused, everyone. I've been asking myself these questions for a while now, and I know myself that I'm gay. Now that I'm not, will I be bullied? Will I be ridiculed? Will I be tormented on a regular basis? I don't care. I'm gay. Mum, it's not your fault. Dad, it's not because of the internet or the TV. Everyone, it's not because gay is in right now. I know that in my soul I'm gay. I did not just wake up and think, hey, I want to be gay. I was born this way and I've been hiding it. Just because of today's society. But I've had enough. I've had enough of people saying someone is gay or lesbian or anything else just by how they act and look. And I've had enough of bullying us because we're freaks and not normal. We are the LGBT community and we support each other more than you do. We are there for each other and we have gone through the same event as everyone else there. We all care for our fellow human beings, but today it is commonly seen that people say that they are homophobic. No, you're not. The definition of homophobia is the hatred or fear of homosexuals, that is, lesbian and gay men, sometimes leading to acts of violence and expression of hostility. Homophobia is not confined to any one segment of society and can be found in people of all walks of life. You're not scared of us. You're not scared of us. People are scared of spiders or clowns. You just think we're unnatural and freaks. Well, no more. If you're part of the LGBT community, stand up for yourself and others. If you're being bullied or see someone being bullied, stand up for them and yourself. If you support the LGBT community, please don't stand by. Help us eradicate homophobia from the world today.
Connect Forth.
Now back to our Student Association President, Lorraine Simpson.
Our Equalities Manager had told us that Manhal had been to Syria last year.
Right, okay.
So we thought it was quite important to include them in this since the theme ties in and it's another aspect of the theme, the Don't Stand By, but it's also a first-hand experience from somebody at the college who's actually been to Syria that can tie into the current situations in the world. So we thought it would be a good point, a good perspective to bring to the project from somebody that's actually been there and that we've got a contact with. That was also a staff member that students could speak to as well.
My name is Manhal Al Nasser. I've been in the UK now for 8 years, and I was born in Syria.
I'm Lauren, and tell us what you do for a living.
I'm a lecturer at Forth Valley College, and also I am a qualification verifier with SUA in chemical engineering.
Where do you study for your qualification?
I've got a bachelor degree in chemical engineering from Syria, University of Homs, and also I did my PhD in chemical engineering at Heriot Watt University here in Scotland, in Edinburgh.
Tell us about your family.
The main reason I came to the UK 8 years ago was to do my PhD here in the UK, and at the moment I have my wife and children here with me in Scotland, but I still have my sisters back home. I have a very big family. I have 7 sisters and 2 brothers.
What happened to your family?
Unfortunately, we are all over the place at the moment. In 2009, at the start of the conflict in Syria, I've lost my brother, and in 2014, I lost my mother, and she was in Lebanon. She passed away in Lebanon, and I couldn't see her for the last 5 years of her life. And also just 2 months ago, my sister also passed away in Saudi Arabia. So now I still have my half-brother in France, and the rest of my family are also all over the place.
Where are the rest of your family based now?
One of my sister is a refugee now in Switzerland, and I have 2 sisters in Turkey. One of them, she's in hospital, she's getting treatment, and I still have 3 of my sisters are still in the country inside Syria.
You are a representative of the charity in Hand for Syria. What are your aims for the charity?
As you have heard from the news, the situation in Syria is so desperate at the moment, and I don't know if you've heard from UNICEF now saying that unfortunately, especially for children, Syria is the most dangerous place to live in at the moment. So there is a great humanitarian need inside the country, and the aim of this charity to try to provide aid wherever is needed inside the country, because most international charity are unable to work inside Syria because of the security situation in the country. However, because the charity I work with, Hand in Hand for Syria, is mainly Syrian people, so they can, many of them are inside the country, many of them are outside the country, and because of this, it's easier for them to work since they are inside the country. However, other international charity are unable to do this, as I said, for security reasons.
Why did you choose to take action to help?
Obviously, it is my country, my people. So when it all started and I saw the situation in the country, I wanted to do something. I wanted to help in a way. I couldn't go back, so the only way I thought I would be able to help is try to raise funds and try to ease the humanitarian suffering in the country.
We'll come back to Manhal's interview later, but now the next set of 3 stories are based around the themes of bullying, family, and moving on with the next steps of life.
Connect Forth.
2 years ago there was a girl who was bullied. She went to my school and was in the same year as me.
Many bad things happened to her. For example, she got her head smashed off a bus window. She was bullied because she had a few flaws and no one would be her friend. And I saw that in third year, so I started to talk to her, and I did not care who saw me talk to her or what happened to me if I did. The only time I saw her was in history. I did not see her out of class. Now I wish I had spoken to her more and hung out with her more, as she was actually quite funny and fun to talk to. When I started to talk to her, my best friend, well, now ex-best friend, we were not friends anymore, and I was a bit down, and she made me happier. And when I found a new friend, which is my current best friend, I still talk to her. But later that year I found out that she had decided to move school, so she left and I've never seen her or spoken to her again. To this day, I wish I had stayed in contact with her and got to know her better. I hope she's okay.
Today I'm going to visit my gran in hospital. It's freezing cold and raining. I have to walk to the bus station and wait for the number 6 and get off at the hospital, which is the last stop. It takes ages. I bought her a bunch of her favourite flowers, which are lilies. She was always talking about them. I also made her a card at school because I didn't have enough money to buy her one out of the shops. I got her a sausage roll, but I was told not to give her it. I don't know why. I'm sure she would have loved it. It was a Greggs sausage roll, so I ate it myself. I might just go back and get another to smuggle into her. Mind you, the last time I smuggled in jelly beans, someone took them off of her. When I got to the hospital, I have to press a buzzer to let in, but half the time they just ignore it. And it takes ages to get in to see her. The buzzer beeps and it's really annoying. There's a wee camera at the door, so when you press the buzzer, your face pops up on the screen. I wasn't expecting that the first time I saw it. Now it's just a big shock seeing what I look like wet and frozen just off the bus. When you finally get through the door, you have to go through the family area where you take all your outdoor jackets off and wash your hands and put alcohol gel on them. You have to put this apron on, but I seem to always manage to rip it before I get it on. Once you have done that, you walk around the ward to base 2 and then walk down to the very end. It's quite scary and intimidating because you have all the nurses and patients watching you walk past as if you are going to kidnap a patient or something. It's quite scary seeing the patients hooked up to the tubes and stuff. It's really worth when I see my gran because she's really funny, because she keeps her headphones on and shouts when she talks to you. But what makes it funnier is the fact that she refuses to put her teeth in, so you can't quite catch what she's saying. After about 20 minutes of talking to her, she says, "Oh, you could have said I've still got the headphones on. I really hope my gran gets better soon. I would love to see her in her own house, safe and sound again. Plus, this means I don't have to stay at my own house at the weekends."
I don't know how to say this. I want to leave school, but I don't have a clue what to do after that. I'm thinking about becoming a graphic designer, but I don't have any qualifications to be able to. I finish school forever in May, 5 months from now. I want to leave the now, but people keep telling me either to stay on or not to leave. I don't know where I'm going next or what I'll do when I leave, either a job or college. All I know is that to do what I want to do, which is a graphic designer, I will either need to come back to college and get more hires, or I'll just need to forget about being a graphic designer and just get a normal day-to-day job. For a while now I've wanted to find an apprenticeship and leave school. I just feel like I've totally outgrown school, as I've been at school for 13 years altogether. What's out there for me? Where do I go next? Someone help me.
Connect Forth.
And now back to the second part of our interview with Manhal.
What sort of charity trips have you undertaken?
I've been to Turkey because mainly Turkey is on the border with Syria, and almost probably 99% of donation has to go through Turkey because it has a long border with Syria, and the charity has a few offices in Turkey. So I went there to have a look at the way the charity work, and also to see first-hand experience what the suffering of the people there. I met so many people there, so it was easier for me to better understand the situation, because although I'm Syrian myself and I've lived all my life in there, but I haven't been there since the conflict started. So it's still, for me, I find it hard to understand and comprehend the situation and what is exactly happening. So it was different to go and meet people who have been through this.
How did you feel on these trips?
It was very, very emotional. I mean, the first time I went there, I saw one of my sisters, whom I haven't seen for the last 6 years, and the moment we met, we didn't talk, and we were just crying and hugging for 10 or 15 minutes. And I would describe my trip, in this small episode. So it was very, very, very emotional to be so close to my home country and just unable to reach and see the place I call home.
How did you prepare?
Obviously, because I work with the charity here, so it was all planned and prepared through the charity, and I've tried to take with me what I can, to help the people there, but mainly all the preparation was through the charity itself.
Are you planning any future charity trips?
I'm hoping during the summertime to do another trip, and I'm hoping this time to try, if it's possible, to visit the refugee camps in the country. As I said, I've met many people who stay not in a refugee camp, but they just live in Turkey, just normal places. But I'm trying in my next trip in the summer, hopefully, to see if I can get access to the refugee camps in the country.
Do you think the media is properly spreading the news about Syria?
Unfortunately not. I don't believe so. 2 days ago, a family was trying to cross the sea, and the whole family drowned. That was a mother with her 7 children, and only the father was just survived this episode. And unfortunately, it was reported in BBC, but just for a short time. It wasn't properly covered. So you would probably, if it was an incident related to other extremist group, you would hear it all over the news and all newspaper. But an incident like this was, I think, very emotional for a whole family, 7 children. The youngest was only 6 weeks old, and the oldest was, I think, 10 years old, and they all drowned. 7 of them with their mother. Only the father survived, and not to hear this covered properly in the media, it was sad. So, and I think this will give an idea that the media is not doing a fair share of covering the situation in the country.
Thank you very much, Manhal, for taking part in our project. And now our final story about individuality.
Connect Forth.
Dear past, there is no calm before the storm. Forget what they say. There will be rain and grey days ahead. When the storm hits, you won't know what to do, and that's okay. Take things in your stride, wing it. Panning out sometimes doesn't work. You may feel alone at this moment, like you're trapped in this nightmare state, but you will wake up. There's a lot going to happen for you in the future. Some of it is scary, and some of it is so utterly embarrassing to even speak of. You will not feel good when these things happen. I can't sugarcoat the truth. You'll want to cover up in a ball of self-pity and wish the world away. And sometimes you'll need to do that. Get it over and done with so you can allow yourself to feel free again. Don't let anyone define who you are. Let yourself do that, but on time. You need to be braver. You need to have faith. You need to feel safe to be yourself. Being yourself is an expression commonly said to everyone in everyday situations. It can be overrated, it can be annoying, but hypocritically it works. Being yourself will allow your mind to unfold and allow your true self to dust itself from off the shelf. Don't make fun of it, don't hide it away, allow it to break free. Don't fear the haters, embrace them with the happiness you feel from letting it all go. Don't bash the things you love most out of fear of being judged and ridiculed. Instead of envying a person's confidence, don't make yourself feel hatred towards them. Become one of them. Become one of those people whose confidence will turn others green with envy from just one single look. What's wrong with putting yourself first sometimes? Absolutely nothing. Do things that will bring you unease. Chances are one day it can bring you tranquility. You don't know unless you try. Don't let your friends, even your family, put down light on the things you admire and love. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to the mean things that come out of people's mouths that bring you sadness. If you love it, don't listen to anyone else. Allow your mind to transcend your admiration to the things and don't let anyone bring it down. Make sure they know exactly who you are and who you want to be. They don't like it, then why are they here? Tell them to leave their negative opinions to the things you like out of the big picture. Remember not to bottle up. Love yourself. Bring yourself self-love once in a while. It doesn't make you selfish, it makes you human. Don't love something about yourself? Try to. If you still feel the same way after, chances are the things you hate most about yourself is another person's reason to why they like or even love about you. The future is scary and unpredictable. I can't tell you where you will be in the future or whether or not you will be content with your life. You need to experience that for yourself. Enjoy the journey of self-discovery and don't let anything make you feel otherwise. You're going to change a lot. You need to allow that to happen. Don't be ashamed of who you are and your life at this moment, as chances are you will change greatly from that. Who you become in life has to be the person you want to be. Don't let others mold you in a way you feel uncomfortable. Be happy with who you are. It's easier said than done, but you can make that saying opposite.
We hope that you have been able to relate to our podcast in some way and make you more aware that we're all valuable individuals and that we should stand by each other. Thank you for listening.
Connect Forth, the radio forum for students.